what's up everyone? GameDad here, coming at you guys with part 2 of my current Famicom collection. So we are just going to dive right in. I'm going to show you the last half of the games that are on the list for today and give you my thoughts about them. Mickey Mouse Mousecapade was released by Hudson Soft in 1987, and this is actually a really fun platforming game where you play as Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and you're kind of tag teaming to get all the different obstacles taken care of, jump enemies, dodge enemies, different things like that. But honestly, I mean, it's just a really fun game to play. Up next is Mirai Shinwa Jarvis, released by Taito in 1987, and this game, it was interesting. It's graphically not very impressive, even for this time frame. It's kind of like an overworld, like, adventure-style game. It has some Final Fantasy-style elements to it, but overall, I wasn't super impressed with this one. Up next is Mito Komen 2, released by Sunsoft in 1988. And other than seeing that there's like some different locations and stuff you can go to, I don't really know what's going on in this game. As with pretty much every Japanese game, I don't speak Japanese, so kind of hard to tell what's going on if there is any kind of actual story to it. And here we have Mizushima Shinji no Dai Kashian, released by Capcom in 1983, and I don't know exactly what that translates to, but it's a baseball game, and it actually plays pretty well from what I could tell with what was going on in it, but overall, yeah, it's just a baseball game. Up next is Nippon Ichi no Dyken Toku, released by Asmic in 1990, and this one is another baseball game. At least I think it is. It's got baseball-themed stuff. I was having a really hard time just getting through the menus. I got past like where you can name your character, but then I started getting into all these stats, and I have no idea what they are, but pretty sure it's another baseball game. And here we have Operation Wolf, released by Taito in 1989, and this game is pretty fun. It's a bit arcadey in its gameplay, definitely not in its graphics, but overall, I mean, I had a good time playing it. Graphically, it does look pretty good. It does not look like an actual arcade game, I will say that, but I mean, that's just console limitations for you. And here we have Othello, released by Kawada in 1986. And I'm not very good at this game, but this actual cartridge gets the gameplay across. I believe what it is you surround pieces with your color, and it then changes their piece to your color, and whoever has the most at the end wins, I believe is how the gameplay works. That's how I was playing it, and overall, it's not bad. Up next, we have Pachinko, released by Toshiba EMI in 1985, and this is a Pachinko game. If you don't know what Pachinko is, it's a lot of little marbles go into a machine, and they start bouncing around, and depending on where they land, you get a higher score, and that's essentially what this game is. You kind of get your angle, you get your power set, and you just start launching marbles into the space. And here we have Pool, released by Pony Canyon in 1985. Now, I know some other translations of this game are things like Lunar Ball and Lunar Pool, stuff like that, but it's a billiards game. You go through, you're playing pool, you get some different tables, stuff like that, and that's pretty much it. I mean, graphically, it's got pretty cool animations for this time period, but yeah, it's a pool game. Up next is Pro Baseball Murder Mystery, released by Capcom in 1988, and it's pretty on the nose with what this game is via the title. It's about pro baseball, and it's about solving a murder mystery related to a pro baseball player. And that's pretty much it. I don't understand the animation style where the dude's ears are so huge, and I can't read the story, but yeah, pro baseball murder mystery. Up next, we have Satomi Hackin Den, released by SNK in 1989, and from what I can tell, this is a kind of samurai adventure game. I wasn't able to get very far into the gameplay before being completely lost, but overall, based on the imagery, based on the artwork of the actual cartridge, things like that, it does give off that adventure kind of game vibe. And here we have SD Gundam Gachapon Warrior 2, released by Bandai in 1989. And I know what Gundam is. the fighting robots and stuff, but I don't really understand how to play this game. I'm assuming it's some sort of RTS kind of game, but I don't get it. Every button I would hit wouldn't do anything. I could move around the map and stuff, but that was about it. I don't understand how to play this game. Up next is Starluster, released by Namco in 1985, and this gave me some like Star Wars arcade vibes, where you go through, you have your little radar showing where the enemies are, and you need to shoot the enemies, and that's pretty much it. It's kind of hard though. The enemies move around really quickly, and it's hard to get the cursor to move around where you need it to go in order to hit those enemies. And here we have Super Pinball, released by Coconuts Japan in 1988, and it's exactly what the title says. It is a pinball game. Now, I've seen some other pinball games where it's two separated screens like this that don't flow together, but I gotta say, this one was done really well. It's very easy to use, it's graphically pleasing, and it transitions really quickly, which makes it nice for the gameplay. Up next is SWAT, Special Weapons and Tactics, released by Toei Animation in 1987. And this game, it's hard to tell really what's going on, at least for me. And I don't understand the gameplay. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing, turn-based strategy or really what this game is. Up next is The Black Bass, released by Hot B in 1987, and I gotta say, for a cartridge-based game, this is hands down the longest loading screen I have ever seen in this kind of game. I mean, for any 8-bit game, 16-bit, whatever, I haven't seen a loading screen this long. You'd think the game is frozen right now. No, it's loading. It takes over 30 seconds to load the main game. And here we have Times of Lore, released by Toho in 1990, and this game is definitely a dungeon crawler, fantasy, adventure kind of game. I don't know what the story is telling me or anything like that. Graphically, it's very simple, but I did play this one for quite a while, actually, and was having a blast. It's pretty fun. Up next is Ultima, Kyofu no Exodus, released by Pony Canyon in 1987, and I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Ultima series. They were really fun games. I didn't really get into it on Famicom or NES or anything like that, but I did enjoy the Ultima games on PC when I was a kid, and I gotta say, they're really good stories and really fun gameplay. Up next is Willow by Capcom, released in 1989, and this game is actually a lot of fun. Graphically, it's not that great, and with colors and stuff, it's not that great. In the overall gameplay, I mean, I don't know why they chose such a light background color for Willow himself, but this one is based off the movie Willow, and I gotta say, it's actually a really good adventure game. Last up on the list is Yoshi's Cookie, released by Nintendo in 1992, and this game is awesome. If you like Tetris or Dr. Mario, any games like that, this is kind of a combo of all those games. So you have the falling pieces, but you need to move and shuffle everything around on the board in order to create matches, and it's a fun game. The music is addicting. It totally gets stuck in your head, and yeah, it's awesome. And there you have it, everyone. That is everything that is currently in my Nintendo Famicom collection. Now, have you noticed any glaring games that are missing or anything like that? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell so you get an alert every time I get a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.